So good afternoon everyone and welcome to backs. Now to do backs I've concentrated mostly on the upper back and strength around the shoulder blades and mobility around the upper back. But somebody sent me a message today to ask for some lower back exercises, and I know a lot of people out there suffer with lower back pain, so this is not such a bad thing. People are going to have stiff backs and aching backs from working from home in different environments, sitting at the kitchen table, that kind of thing, doing different activities to what they would normally do. So here is a 10-minute lower back workout, or whatever you want to call it, with this lot around because it's too windy outside to film and this is the only space. So I'm going to start off on the mat here, so on your backs, on the mat, and we're going to start off here with your knees and toes together. Here. So if you put your hands on your ribs and your elbows out to the side, tuck through your chin, open out your chest and have your hands on your ribs. And you're rolling the knees from side to side. Now the trick to get some good rotation around your spine is to try and keep your ribs down and keep your feet pinned together and keep your knees pinned together. So as you come over to the left, you pick up your right foot and take the legs over to the side. And then you bring your legs back to the middle again. And then you pick up your left and take the legs over to the other side and pull back to the centre. Good. So you're really looking at rotating around the spine. Now don't push this one because the lumbar spine, the lower back, is not actually designed to rotate. It's designed more to do side bends and forwards and backwards. But it does need a bit of rotation and the rotation feels good. All right. So they are your knee rolls. Then we're going to come up into sitting. This is one of my favourite exercises for the abdominals. And frankly, if anyone is suffering with any low back pain, it's the abdominals that we talk about strengthening. So if you bring your arms out in front of you, drop your shoulders, draw in your lower tummy, and then we're rolling back off the sitting bones and pulling up tall. So you're curling your lower back into a C shape here, a C shape, and then pulling up tall. So you're rolling back off the sitting bones onto the sacrum or the tailbone there, and then pull yourself back up tall again. This feels both good and bad, I think, on that lower back. Curl back because you're curling and then you're drawing yourself up tall. Think more about pulling up tall. So actually open out the arms as you come back up. Curl back. And open out the arms as you come up tall. Curl back, come up tall. And you might feel that lower back. You're getting more and more movement. Don't be tempted to roll all the way down and all the way up. So it's not a full sit-up. You go as far as you can before you start to feel a natural stop. Good. And by opening out the arms on the way up, it encourages you to come up tall and open out the chest as you come up, rather than rowing forwards or rolling forwards. Good, so last one there, straighten out your legs and come forwards, rolling forwards and stretching down through the backs of the legs. So that's another tip for lower back aching and pain, is to make sure that you are stretching the backs of the legs. The hamstrings tug down on the lower back if they are tight. Good. Okay, so we're going to add those two together. We're going to get the curling back and the rotation at the same time. So curl back, stay there in that curved shape with your lower tummy scooped in, and rotate one arm at a time, like this, scooping in your tummy. Make sure you pin your legs together. Good. Pinning the legs together. Don't let one leg shorten and the other leg lengthen at the same time. Good. Bring it here if you want. Good. One more each side. And come forward, stretch stretching through the backs of the legs there. Now this time I want you to point and flex alternate legs. Now that is going to give you that little bit of a stretch down through the sciatic nerves. Good. All right, coming onto your hands and knees. So here, hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath your hips, knees and feet hip width apart. No hurry. Lift and drop and just lower back. So this could be cat and cow, where you lift up the whole back and come back down again. Lily, stop. Just the lower back to just the pelvis. Lily, can you close the door for me, sweetie? Good. So you can, I often just do the shoulders and then the lower back, but it's not the full back. So we're just trying to get that pelvis moving as much as possible. I usually wear things a little bit more so you can see the movements, but frankly today it's whatever has happened we're doing. So it's just moving through that lower back there. Good. On these movements, if you think about drawing in through the tummy to lift up, and then squeeze the muscles in the back to arch the back a little bit, squeeze in through the tummy to lift, and then the lower back there to arch. Good. And then if we can go from side to side a little bit like this, then you're actually stretching through the sides too. Good. If you lift up your right leg and tap across, and then out, and across, and out. You're opening out that side of your back as you go that way, and then you're bringing across again. So you're actually working your glutes a little bit, which are really important for your lower back, and you're getting a bit of a stretch through the quadratus lumborum, which is the muscle on the side of the back there. Let's do the other side. So you lift up the other leg, go to the side and across. It's that one across where you get that lovely stretch through the lower back. Good. Nice. 2 more. Last one. Good. So we can't get away from a cobra and a child pose. So if you come forwards like this and arch the back, and then come back just from that position you were. Stretch your bottom up in the air like this. So true child pose, you would sink down on your heels. But I actually want you more here. So you come forwards, you come back onto your hands and knees. But in this position, the hands are just a little bit forwards to the shoulders, as you can see there. And then when you sit backwards, your bottom goes straight up and you stretch through the shoulders there. Forwards. I'll do it. Later. Sit back. Good. Forwards. And back. 2 more. Good. 1. And last one. Good. Now, I wouldn't be doing you justice if I wasn't actually thinking about working through the deep abdominals, the transversus abdominis. So that's going to be the last thing that we're going to do. So just coming down onto our backs, feet hip width apart, rock again with the pelvis, tucking the bottom under, sticking the bottom out a few times. So go backwards and forwards like that. Settle somewhere in between with just a little arch in the back. Tighten and squeeze and lift through the pelvic floor. This is what tightens around this corset muscle, or your transversus abdominis, or your deep abdominals. So you squeeze through your pelvic floor, not too strongly. Think about an elevator going up to the 10th floor and you're squeezing just halfway there and tightening. And then if we just lift and lower alternate legs, trying to keep the hips stable. So the key, I've whizzed through that. You might want to go onto my beginner's Pilates on my YouTube. So I've whizzed through that a little bit. But the key points there, find a little arch in the lower back, not flat, not very arched. Tighten the pelvic floor and keep your hips nice and level. So this is nicely working your pelvic floor. Now, with your feet hip width apart, tighten, lift and breathe 5 times. Breathe and out. You're trying to breathe into your lower outer lungs. 2, breathe. 3, trying to expand your lungs. In through your nose, out through your mouth. 1 more. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Knees and toes together. Just finishing off where we started, rolling the knees from side to side. Good. So, once we've done those, I think that wraps it up. There's 10 minutes on lower back. So some stretching, some strengthening, some activating of the key core muscles that keep and hug and stabilise around the lower back. See you all tomorrow for the next body part, which I can't quite remember which one it is. Bye.